Hello, it's Len from Straight Talk from the Homeland. Welcome back to the channel. So here we are. The Americans are now at war with Iran. We have missiles flying a few hundred kilometers away from us, going back and forth between Israel and Iran. And it looks like, despite voices of peace and people asking to respect international law, like I've done always, it seems that the dark forces have prevailed. As I've said before, the West, instead of being the so-called white hats, the good guys, the West is now not only backing genocide in Palestine and destroying the very fabric of international institutions and conventions that were set up after World War II to prevent genocide and World War. The West's greed, ignorance, whatever you want to call it, has led us to this point. And now we all have to fear for our very survival, our children's future. And if you're sitting there in Australia and New Zealand thinking, it doesn't affect me, it will affect you. Even if it's just economically, we're just at the very beginning of something terrible. Now, if I'm wrong and people pull back from the brink, fantastic. But a year ago, I predicted that the Zionists would do this, would bring the US into it, and would create regional war. Now the Gulf states are all at peril, and I don't see a future in peace for this region, despite the efforts that many people have been trying to make to find peaceful solutions. So, for example, I delivered what I thought would be a viable peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan based on land swap, bridging, and guarantors. And I also have been trying to advocate for a peace agreement between Israel and Palestine, where Palestine would be recognized and Palestinians could be safe from the Zionist rampage. But it seems to me that no one's going to listen to these voices of peace. It seems that the prophecies are all going to come true, and I'm a little bit sad about that. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of this exists only because of the Zionism that we see around the world. And in my view, Zionism is the greatest threat to Jewish people and the Jewish faith, and indeed the memory of the Holocaust, because they've basically hijacked this religion. Now, I don't recall before World War II any invasions by the Jewish people or belligerent actions that would see the sort of dislike around the world that I see today. They call it anti-Semitism, but they basically bringing it onto themselves. In 1909, the Scofield Bible was brought out, and it basically changed certain understandings of Genesis 12:3 to fool Christians into believing that they had to defend Israel instead of the original intent of defending Abraham's descendants, not a nation. And so we have an entire country in the US hijacked by fundamentalist Christians who don't understand that Christians in the Holy Lands are spat on by extremist Jews. They are the Armenian Christians in the Armenian Quarter are in peril. Israel as an entity has destroyed Christian churches throughout the Levant, including Lebanon. I don't understand why they can't see what everybody else can see, and that is that the import of Ashkenazi Jews, who mainly from Eastern Europe, and therefore would struggle to convince me that they're Semitic, unlike the Palestinian people who are really Semitic people. I don't see how it's possible for a colonial apartheid entity like Israel to be seen in any other light, especially when a country like South Africa, who truly knows what apartheid is about. And yes, I visited South Africa during apartheid time, so I know the horrors of that. And people are saying that it's worse than what South Africa was like. I mean, we even see scenes where these extremist Zionists, who are not real Jews, it seems, because Jews are not like this, they won't even let non-Jewish people like Chinese workers into their bomb shelters. I mean, how racist do you have to be? I don't think that the Jewish faith, as commanded by the Torah, really means to be racist like this. Yes, there are bad things in the Torah, I know, just like there are in the Bible. But none of it can justify what's going on right now, where Israel attacks the Iranian embassy in Damascus and kills leaders in Iran, and then attacks a sovereign country, not just Iran, of course, Lebanon and Syria and other places, and provides 70% of the weapons to Azerbaijan to enable Azerbaijan to attack Christians here in Armenia. How could any Christian support Israel under those circumstances? When we think that prior to the existence of Israel, which started in 1948 with the Ergon terrorist bombings by the Jewish extremists, before that, as I understand it, Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived together in peace in the Holy Lands. So what's to become of us? Well, right now, I am very embarrassed about the Australian Foreign Minister, who continues to use the line, Israel has a right to defend itself. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. When it attacks other sovereign nations, it doesn't have a right to defend itself. It is a belligerent that's broken Article 2 of the UN Charter. Israel has a right to defend itself against Palestinian extremists. No, it doesn't. It's certainly not in the context of the way in which they're occupiers, and they have certain responsibilities as occupiers in Gaza and the West Bank. And that does not mean the ability to mistreat, to kill, to torture, to take hostages, and that sort of thing. And remember, this false flag operation of October the 7th, yes, that's what it was, which was signalled by Egypt 2 days before, which was enabled through Netanyahu's actions of withdrawing his border units, and so they didn't respond for, I think, 7 or 8 hours. And remember, Netanyahu was the one that enabled the financial facilitation of Hamas from Qatar. It's all there in the public knowledge. Everybody knows this. So October the 7th, which is not when it started. It started before 1948, by the way, with, as I said, the Ergon terrorists and trying to take the land for themselves. October the 7th was just a false flag operation to enable the destruction and genocide of the Palestinian people. So the Palestinian people have the right under international law to fight back, not just after October the 7th with this genocidal attack, but also before October the 7th because of the occupation. They have the legal right to do that. So, no, Foreign Minister Wong, Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself because it's a colonial apartheid state that's been established on other people's lands. So, I don't see how Australia is sitting on the right side of history by talking like this, by enabling a genocidal apartheid nation. Furthermore, I don't know who's advising the foreign minister when I hear reports that they say Australian citizens should vacate Iran via Azerbaijan. I mean, Azerbaijan is a dictatorship that has human rights index similar to North Korea. So why would you tell Australians to go via a country like that instead of Armenia, an emerging democracy? Why would you sort of support a country like Azerbaijan, which has a dictator that invades other countries and whose family's been in power for 30 years, and even the vice president of Azerbaijan is his wife? Let that sink in. So here's Australia, whose closest embassy is in Moscow, obviously very well informed. Well, they don't ask people like us who are close to the front lines and have some idea of what's going on in the region. No, they don't ask us, and we would be happy to help fellow Australians and New Zealanders to evacuate and to try and facilitate peace here. But nobody is going to listen to people like us sitting here in the middle of things. We offer a peace plan for Palestine, which, by the way, I'll put in the description. But Australia will just follow the US line and try and destroy the indigenous Palestinian people. I'm so ashamed. We are the black hats. We are the bad guys. And unfortunately, this is going to have major consequences. This thing about following the US. We're not an independent country. Canberra is just subservient to Washington and London, and it's sickening. We did not fight at Gallipoli and realised then that we should not follow despots like Churchill, who led us to that horror in Gallipoli. We did not fight for learning no lessons. We fought, we learnt lessons, we became a sovereign country, both in Australia and New Zealand. And I'm asking for people to now start asking the hard questions. How is it that we have come to this point where the world is on the brink of regional and world war? Nobody is listening. Nobody is talking to the people who are actually here. Just the politicians who seem to be bribed or subservient to Israel, this Zionist entity, which is the biggest danger to the Jewish people, and which I wish would just revert to Palestine so the Jewish people could live in peace there with the Arabs and the Muslims, and there was no apartheid genocidal entity causing all this problem here. Now, I'm not defending the political system of Iran. I've been to Iran. Iranian people are beautiful people. They're just normal, trying to make their way. But it's up to the Iranian people to decide who are their leaders. It's not up to the West. And we also have a lot of propaganda in the West about, women's rights and things like that. That if you go to Iran, you'll see that the women there are strong. They're not subservient like you might find in other places in the Middle East. These people are a proud ancient nation, 5,000 years or more, and nothing justifies the war, especially from a person who said, "Oh, I'm the no wars president." Well, I wonder how the Americans feel right now. Their no wars president has got them into another war. Americans are in danger around the world now, and the economy will crash for sure. And all those people who supported Trump, they're at the bottom of the heap, most of them without college degrees and things like that. They're going to be the ones that suffer the most. So I don't understand how we've come to this point. So, praying for the best. We will help any Australian or New Zealand here if they need help. And get the message out. Please don't go via Azerbaijan. Please make sure that the Australian and New Zealand governments are better informed than they are. And let's try and get through this nightmare that's been artificially created. In 2025, there should be peace upon this planet. And we should respect each other instead of this madness that's overtaken the world. Praying for the best, hoping for the best. This is Len from Straight Talk from the Homeland.